Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you my 2023 reading journal. This took me a while. You won't even know how long this took. Um, this first page actually was the last thing that I did, and it was very stressful. I don't know why. In my last reading journal, never, I literally think that I have seen that page a couple of times, and that's it. So I don't know why, but this was very stressful. I also think that it was because I didn't thought about my palette. So I was set up on this blue for the dress, and then I painted the hair turquoise, but I wasn't feeling it. So I actually kind of rest for a couple of days. I came back and I was like, yeah, navy blue and pink. That's what I want. So yeah, that's with what I went. I had to paint. I had to repaint the hair, and that was a lot. But I'm very happy with the results. The wings, yeah, I really don't know what to do about that. I at the end I thought that yeah, it was working, but now I'm rethinking the whole thing. But at the end of the day, I do like it for being the first page of my reading journal. This is something that I started to incorporate this year, which is having more characters in my spreads. Not exactly like book characters, which I might do, but only characters in general, like maybe even my own characters. So yeah, that is something that it's kind of new in this journal. I'm actually very excited for everything that it's coming. Also, something that I'll probably talk about more in my 2022 second half of the year flip through is that this paper is awful for water. I actually wanted something stronger than the one that I had before, and yeah, this is not it. But it was like more than half left, so yeah, I just didn't want to waste it, so I just keep going. I hope this one is gonna be over soon. But yeah, this is actually a B5 sketchbook, and yeah, it's not very good for water. But yeah, well, I'll just do what I can. So far, I've managed to actually get somewhere that I like. So yeah, that's it. Then I have my new releases and the 23 books I want to read in 2023. In my new releases, actually, I'm missing two books that now I'm very interested in. And one is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and the other is The Adventures of Amina Al Safari. I had heard about these books before and I wasn't interested, and for some reason now I am. So yeah, which is actually kind of perfect because I do have the space for both of them. I honestly thought that I was going to have more books like for my new releases of this year, but I don't know. It took me a while to be interested actually in new releases. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but I was like not interested in anything. The three of them that actually you can see that there are also in my 23 books that I want to read this year is Silverborn, Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams, which I love her stuff, and A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. And yeah, I'm super excited about those. I think I'm pretty good at keeping up on my new releases, so I know I'm gonna read those books, so I just put them in the list. I'm not gonna go in depth in this list because I'm gonna talk about that in my 2023 reading goals video. So the only thing here is that I have this key in which I have one color for different things. So audiobook, a physical, and ebook. So when I read these books, because I will read these books, I'm gonna underline the books and then put just the star ratings for each of them. So yeah, that's the plan. Also, I really like this. I love gold details, so I used gold pretty much in every single spread. I have this amazing. There are like metallic watercolors, and they are great. I love the way it looks with the deep blue. At some point, I did thought about doing this with black, which is very new for me, but you'll see that I've been using black way more often. Again, tracing the 23 to go around that was very long, but I think it was worth it. I really like the way it turned out. Then I have one of the spreads that was my least favorite out of all of them, and that was my book series tracker. At the beginning, as you can see, I just put all of my series, but I didn't realize that I am in the middle of way more series than I thought. So I did this little pocket and this kind of booklet to put the rest of them. And turns out that I love the booklet, and now I don't like the way this looks. So I was thinking when I record this in to do it a couple of things, and they are actually things that I already did. So I moved the every single series in that page into the booklet, and I put paint on that. I did a new pocket because something that I wasn't very fan of, it was that the pocket was so small that the booklet will move around and get caught in the next page, and that was worrying me a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna insert a picture to show you what I did here and how it's looking now. But yeah, I really like it now, and like I said, it was one of my least favorite spreads, but I don't know, I really like it now, and I like the fact of having this. It's not a booklet, but kind of. So yeah, but yeah, that's what I did, and I really like it. The next page is for my A to C challenge. I At the beginning I just did this page for my books. I really like this challenge. I never really get to finish the challenge, but I don't really mind. I just find it very fun to do. And I found that I saw in a video a girl that did this challenge about 4 authors, and that was like double the fun. So I did this little page there, and I actually have the space to write my books down in the page, and the little pages for authors. So yeah. Then I have my favorite spread out of all of them, and I say that with a lot of love. That is the first spread that I did, and it's my bookshelf. This, I don't know why, but I wanted to do this spread like last year, in which I had 2 pages full of shelves and books. But the thing is that my last reading journal, the one that I started 2022, it was very small. I think it was like a B6, I think. And the one that I have now, it's a B5. So yeah, it's very different, and just 1 page was enough. My reading goals for this year is like 60 books a year, and in this page I have like 79 or something like that. So yeah, I have all the space for that. I really like how the black looks with the gold and also the pinks. I'm very excited about this. I already want to use this. Something else is that in this scroll, at the beginning I put like my goals, because in my last reading journal I put my goals in my bookshelf. But like I said, until a couple of weeks ago I didn't have any. So I just left that blank, and I didn't really know what I was going to do with the other page, because I was like done with my bookshelves. So I just got this inspiration of doing half. That's what I did. I painted some other mermaids on the black, and I put like the key below the bookshelf title. So I wanted to keep the palette, so I got pink for physical, purple for ebook, and orange for audiobook. So what I do is that I write down the title on the spine of the books, and I just paint accordingly to whatever happened. Sometimes I do mix up. I am listening to the audiobook and following with the physical book or the ebook. So in that case, I will paint like half or whatever the amount I think it's appropriate. I don't remember I have mentioned this. I did change what I did last year. I used a lot of gold, and now I was like, okay, I do like gold, but let's just make it an accent. So this year I put like brown watercolor. So it got very patchy, but it actually worked out very well because it looked like wood. So yeah, that's something that happy accident. And I'm not sure I have talked about this, but I didn't really have a plan for this. I just was doing whatever I wanted to do in every single spread. And somehow it kind of started to get a theme. And I would say it's like fairy tales. I have the mermaid here, I have the fairy in the first page, I have the witch, and yeah, I don't know. I really like it. I think it's very appropriate. So yeah, I loved it. My next page is something that I changed last year. I was using these brackets for choosing my favorite book of the year, but it wasn't working for me. So I just kind of stopped doing that since I realized that, for example, January and like March, those books were, yeah, the best of the month, but not really the best, like my favorites. So I was like, yeah, some months are not as good as others. So I don't know, I just thought that I'm just gonna put every single cover of my favorite books, and that's it. And that's what I did at the end of the 2022 reading journal. So yeah, I thought about doing the same thing here. I got inspired in some artwork I found on Pinterest. I love the blue and the gold. I like that it doesn't look empty, because I knew that this page was going to be empty until the end of the year. So yeah, it doesn't look empty. The only thing that is bothering me right now is that I was very excited about this, and it took me a whole day to paint this thing. But I was very excited, and at some point I took a step back and I look at it, and now it looks like Earth on space. And I can't unsee it, and that's bothering me so much. But yeah, well, there's nothing I can do right now, and I'm not gonna do anything about that, so it's gonna stay like that. The next page is very empty, and that is because I thought about doing an illustration for my favorite book of the year, but then I thought that I'm going to do a lot of other illustrations for maybe my favorite books of the year. So I thought about, at the end of the year, just print everything that I might do and just put in this page. I might do like half, I don't know, like an illustration for my favorite book of the year, and maybe just like a smaller pictures of the other illustrations. I don't know, but that is what that page is for. So it's gonna look empty for a long time. So yeah. So the next spreads are completely new, and well, I'm gonna talk a little bit like backwards, and because I'm gonna start with my NetGalley arcs. I've been kind of failing with this, and I think it's because I don't have it present all the time. So having a spread for that is gonna help me a lot. It's very self-explained. I mean, I have a check thing for the read and review. So I haven't filled this out yet. Well, actually, in the present, I have pretty self-explanatory how that is going to work, and I think that it's going to work very well. So I remember that I should do that. I chose to do that. So yeah. Then in the other page, I have two things that I am not sure if they're going to move along. So I have my star ratings and top authors. So the thing is, with the star ratings, as soon as I finished doing the spread, I wasn't sure if I was going... Okay, no, I'm going to use it because I did it, but I don't know how useful it's going to be. That was my thought at the time, because I saw this idea in another reading journal, and I was like, oh yeah, that's great. So I'm like sure that I'm DNFing because I don't want to see the color of the 2 stars or the 1 star. Then I thought that, hey, I've been DNFing pretty well, I think, in 2022. So I didn't know how useful that was going to be. And funny enough, my first book, if I finish that book, it might be a 2 star. So I think I might have to take back my words, and I don't know. I even thought about this, and I was like, yeah, I might DNF it, because if I'm gonna give it 2 stars, then I'm not gonna finish. But there is something that it actually keeps me interested, because I don't know how this is going to work. I think this is a recipe for disaster, and you have to give up something to have the other thing. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna work, but I'm kind of interested in seeing if it's going to work somehow. So yeah, I'm gonna take back my words and I'm gonna use this thing. Hopefully, I'm not gonna give it 2 stars, but we'll see. And then the other one is my top authors. This is new because I usually didn't read much of one author in a year. I don't know why, but I never did it. I had like I needed time to recover and to come back and whatever. And this year, I don't know if it was to have my reading journal and to actually put my thoughts on them and to be able to move on. That has allowed me to read a lot of books from one author. So yeah, again, this is self-explanatory. Hopefully, the more books I read from one author, it's gonna go on number one, and then number two, and the third, and yeah, so on. So yeah, I don't know if this is going to move into 2024, but I'm gonna see how useful it is for this year, and yeah, then I'll see how things go along. So yeah, and then I'm gonna give you a glimpse of what January it's going to look like. It's still on sketch. I it's weird because I was thinking about okay, January, new beginnings, fresh start, and I was like in blank. I didn't know what to do with that. And then I just got kind of inspired with black and red and white, and then I thought about circus, and the circus went into kind of clowns and then to jesters, and I kind of landed in jesters, and then sheep came out. So yeah, I'm very excited. I know it's gonna take me a while. If you want to see the painting process for this, I might do a video for my other channel, which is my art focused channel. So yeah, you'll probably be able to see that there. And in the other page, I have like book club questions. I do want to get my reviews more objectively. Don't get me wrong, I love just to talk about my thoughts and what I liked and what I didn't. But yeah, I just want to start to think more about the plot and how good the characters were built, and the whole arc of the books and characters. So yeah, I'm not promised to go one way or the other, but it's something that I want to incorporate this year. So yeah, that's the whole thing. I think I'm gonna leave you here in my favorite spread, which is my bookshelf. Let me know if you did a reading journal for this year. I really enjoy this a lot. If you have seen my other videos for my reading journal, I mainly use them to write my thoughts. Yeah, I tend to write and paint and stuff, but yeah, it's to write my thoughts about the book. That's it. So I really enjoy it. I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you maybe did a spread that I didn't. Even though I said that it took me a while and that it's just something that I do once a year, and that I'm super thankful for this. It's also stuff that I do every single day, because this kind of merge my favorite things in life, which is drawing and painting and books. And I hope you're well, that you're starting the year fresh, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!